we are going to talk about Sagittarius energy. So I will talk about the full moon. I'll just touch base on full moon portals, full moon phases, how that affects our energy, what that means, and then why we want to tune into this actual full moon in Sagittarius. I'll touch base on why it's called the strawberry moon or the rose moon, and then we'll talk about Vedic astrology as well. So I do like to view the moon from both the Eastern and Western perspective. We'll bring in the guides and guardians of the 5 directions. We'll also bring in the 5 elements into our circle, give you a little bit of guidance on maybe some tools or elements that you can work with in your own rituals or ceremonies around this moon, or maybe things to put on your altar right now. And then we're going to do a tarot reading that I've pulled and a little bit of breath work and envisioning. I kind of have this thing brewing that I know needs to come through, but I haven't finalized exactly how we're going to do it yet. So I know when the time comes, it will work out. And in Sagittarius energy, we will make the most of it no matter our experience here. So I would advise that you make yourself comfortable, have something to drink, be in your cozies. I'm in my nice, these are my sweaties. I've got my, my cozies on. I'm here at home in my home office, and, I'm just inviting you into my home space right now. So I invite you to feel as if you are at home as well, if you can. Namaste, and welcome to the Follow Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Vina Lene Rachel. I'm a moon priestess, intuitive, emotional alchemist, and channeler of the divine, and I've been diving into the worlds of the spiritual and metaphysical for over a decade now to self-heal my own trauma, become more emotionally stable, and cultivate my manifestation magic. I am so excited to now be bringing these same tools and techniques to you on this channel. There are a variety of ways for us to work on our higher selves. We can use practices like yoga, meditation, and breath work. We can receive energy work, crystal healing, or pull tarot and oracle cards. We can call on our angels, ancestors, spirit guides, spirit animals, or more. Or maybe we find more alignment with astrology and the moon. I'm going to hold space for it all here on this channel. As you navigate each episode, I hope you find the guidance and wisdom you need to find your own path of self-healing and magic. May you become confident and courageous enough to continue to follow the path that best serves you. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel and trusting me to be a part of your unique journey. It truly is an honor to do this work and be here. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello. Happy Moon Day. Happy full moon day. So bear with me. I am, for the very first time, also going live on my website. So some people, hi Lisa, some people do not like social media. I totally get it. As you know, I recently left Facebook. As far as with my Vina Lene page goes, I deleted that page from Facebook during this lunar cycle, or actually during the last lunar cycle. And, Facebook owns Instagram, so I totally get it. If you don't want to, tune in on Instagram, we're going to give an opportunity for people to tune in without needing social media, just straight from my website, so nothing to worry about. But it is my first time that I've ever done this, so I am going to work on getting here and getting live, so just bear with me. Hey, Diane. Happy full moon. And I'm just curious, can you hear me well? I'm supposed to be live streaming through my microphone. Let me know if it sounds like I'm on my microphone. I would appreciate that.
And forgive my sinuses because I am a little sinusy right now. Okay, perfect. Thank you. By the way, ladies, I don't know, Lisa, I saw that you shared it, but if you ladies saw on Facebook, you can get into my online community. So you remember my online community tribe, and this is for anybody listening too. So I had my online community tribe, and that was my old community through my website. And my community has come a long way as far as like the way that my website hosting goes, and it has kind of turned into a social media group situation. And recently, I've been working on developing those communities so people can migrate off the platforms of Facebook, Instagram, etc. if they want to, and still be able to tune into me. So tonight, I am testing. Okay, I just want to switch. Sorry. I have to allow all these things because I haven't used my webcam in a while. And yeah, so I want to be able to provide my moon circles still, but I want to do them both on Instagram and then on my live community for the moon. And then I also, okay, perfect. I am live there too. Yay. You can see my lovely plug-in for my ring light in the background if you're on my website, but I don't really care about that. Okay. So I think that if you, and like I said, nobody is going to be there, but up to 200 people can be in those live rooms, which is cool. And I can record them, and then the recordings will be there. So even this recording tonight from this moon circle, it's going to be up on my Moon Fam. It'll be in the Moon Fam community, I believe. So I'm going to start recording over there. Like I said, even though I sent that out, I didn't see that anybody had joined yet. But you can join that community for free as I'm rambling on and on about it. And then you can learn more about the moon because, you know, I'm trying to migrate off these platforms too, but I still want you to be able to tune in and learn about everything. And I'm going to do like some extra VIP stuff there as well, you know, in that community, in that Moon Fam community. So, you know, go join it. And by the way, you two ladies are in the Sisterhood of Conscious Creation as well, and you might have seen that I migrated you over to a new community there. I have not even really touched that yet. I'll be working on updating that one over the next few weeks. So one by one, getting these new communities created in the spirit of it being Gemini season, a very social sign, a very techie sign, and you know, we've also moved into the season of Aquarius, which is all about doing things in a new way, an innovative way, a different way, an exciting way. And so, you know, in the spirit of things, I am doing things in innovative, new, exciting, different ways. So, yay. All right, so we are streaming, we are live, my microphone works, my camera works, everything's looking good. I'm sorry, I'm going to move this just a little bit more. Bear with me. I'm trying to be able to look at you both at the same time, but there might be a little glancing back and forth because I can't get it, you know, layered on top of one another, but that'll do. All right. As always, let's ground in with a nice deep breath. Wherever you are, can you find supportive posture? I actually feel like sitting on my knees today. I'm going to move over and do that. I was sitting in my typical cross-legged position, but I want to sit up a little bit more. So with that, let's take a deep breath together whenever you're ready. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, sound if you need it, just whatever you need to do. Back to normal breathing. Just kind of shake out the body, loosen up, really ground in. You know, in full moons, we are in heightened prana, heightened energy. I'm sure you can sense that even with me right now. I feel that energy. So we want to ground. We want to try to connect to the earth. We want to slow down. So let's try that again. Deep breath in through the nose, and let's hold it for a moment if you can. Just take a pause at the top, maybe a little bit more breath in, and then let it all go however you need to. Pause at the bottom. Maybe breathe out even more. Sink down deeper. Connect to the earth. And one more, maybe adding some arms if you can. Reach up, inhale. Stay at the top and pause. And then take more breath in. And then exhale, let it all go. Let the arms go. Shake it out. And welcome. Welcome wherever you are tuning in, whenever you are tuning in to our virtual Sagittarius full moon circle. I am your host and guide, Vina Lene Rachel. I am a moon priestess, an intuitive, a channeler of the divine, and I have been leading these moon circles for almost 5 years now. I've been working with the moon for over a decade. I've been studying astrology my entire life, and I am super excited to be here every couple of weeks, give or take, to help you learn all about the moon, the cosmos, what's going on beyond these realms of our planet, because we're all in this spinning record of one galaxy together, and we all affect one another with that gravitational pull, magnetic attraction to one another. So, I once was maybe in your shoes if you're new to learning about the moon. I was once that person that was, seeking out the wisdom and the knowledge to learn about the moon and how it affected my energy and how it affected my menstrual cycle, how it affected my fertility, how I should run my business with it, how I should operate my life around it. And, with that, I've now moved to the other side where I'm that person holding space, educating you about the moon and how to work with it. And, maybe you're a pro with the moon. Maybe you've been here. I know some of you have been here for a very, very long time with me. You've been with me through all the realms, through Zoom, through Facebook, through YouTube, my website, Instagram now, wherever you tune into me, podcast. And, with that, you've probably learned a lot about the moon, but you learned also that the moon shifts every single cycle, every single year. So every single lunar year is different, every single year is different, and every single month is different, or month. We have to think about these words: Monday, month, month, menstrual, moonstral, all of it is based on the moon. And then I typically mention that we have heard maybe the word lunatic. Lunatic, if you break that down, it has the word luna in it, as in luna, la luna, Spanish for the moon, lunation. We're all ruled by this energy and gravitational pull of the moon. So, why not tune into it so we know what's going on both within us and everywhere else around us. Now, also, if you tune into, your internal energies, your chakras, your energetic spaces, you might know that your second energy center, Svadhisthana, your sacral chakra, is related to your internal moon, or how you emotionally process. And so the external moon affects our energy, which is emotion, energy in motion, right? And then we have this internal space that also affects our emotions and how we process and move them and actually produce all of that energy. So, we want to tune into these spaces, or at least I think that we should be tuning into these spaces, and we should probably be aligning our lives and our businesses around them, right? So I, keep my studio closed on new moon days and full moon days because I want to honor that energy or celebrate that energy. But I also know that my energy is different more on those days than any other time in the month. I might be more tired there during a new moon. I might be just a little overwhelmed or amplified or anxious during a full moon. Balance could be off on either one of those days. So I want to, be more mindful of tuning more within, grounding in, checking in, seeing how I feel with my emotions, and then, kind of making the adjustments from there. And that's what working with the moon is all about, right? Now, we'll get deeper into that on our next moon circle with the next lunar cycle. Sorry, I didn't want to get tongue-tied there. But our next lunar cycle is going to be ruled with Cancer energy, and we'll move into the new moon of Cancer. We move into Cancer season on the 21st, 22nd. And so at that time, we'll talk more about the moon because Cancer energy is completely ruled by it. And so that's when we'll go a little bit deeper. And I have a lot of wonderful offerings for you to tune into that as well if you haven't had the opportunity to. But as far as this particular moon tonight, we are going to talk about Sagittarius energy. So I will talk about the full moon. I'll just touch base on full moon portals, full moon phases, how that affects our energy, what that means, and then why we want to tune into this actual full moon in Sagittarius. I'll touch base on why it's called the strawberry moon or the rose moon, and then we'll talk about Vedic astrology as well. So I do like to view the moon from both the Eastern and Western perspective. We'll bring in the guides and guardians of the 5 directions. We'll also bring in the 5 elements into our circle, give you a little bit of guidance on maybe some tools or elements that you can work with in your own rituals or ceremonies around this moon, or maybe things to put on your altar right now. And then we're going to do a tarot reading that I've pulled and a little bit of breath work and envisioning. I kind of have this thing brewing that I know needs to come through, but I haven't finalized exactly how we're going to do it yet. So I know when the time comes, it will work out. And in Sagittarius energy, we will make the most of it no matter our experience here. So I would advise that you make yourself comfortable, have something to drink, be in your cozies. I'm in my nice, these are my sweaties. I've got my, my cozies on. I'm here at home in my home office, and, I'm just inviting you into my home space right now. So I invite you to feel as if you are at home as well, if you can. You might be listening or watching the replay, listening to the podcast. Totally cool. But make yourself as cozy as you can. We are probably going to be spending the next hour to an hour and a half with each other. So, you want to make sure that you have all of your comforts here if you need them. And, of course, you can always catch the replay if you can't watch the whole thing. So, with that, I am going to take one more deep breath, and then we are going to officially tune in and get started. Remember that we're in the season of air. We might be in this full moon of Sagittarius, but we're still in the sun season of Gemini. And whenever we arrive into a full moon, the moon is opposite of the sun. So, over here, if you're in one video, you can even see my plug-in. But over here on one side, if you saw the sun, or like where my ring light is shining in here, if that was the sun and I was the earth, my earthly human self, the moon would be on the other side. And I'm sorry if you get sick of this analogy. I just think it's the best way to describe it. But, as you can see from, where my hands and my head are, the sun is reflecting onto the moon, and the moon is reflecting that onto the earth, kind of like a mirror. And so we're feeling that solar energy. We sense it, and we can see the moon at night. It's all lit up because we can see it reflecting that solar energy. Now, also that means that because the moon is opposing the sun, it's opposite the sun, it's going to be opposite whatever zodiac sign the sun is in. So if we're in the sun sign or the sun season of Gemini, if you looked across the zodiac wheel from Gemini, you would see Sagittarius. And so we're in the moon or full moon of Sagittarius and the sun sign of Gemini. So, if you want to learn more about Gemini, you're going to have to tune into my new moon in Gemini circle coming up next. But you can also go and read on my website, vinalene.com. You can go click on astrology and you can read all about Gemini season, which is what we're in right now. So if you want to tune into that, learn a bit more about it right now, you can go ahead and do that on my site. But otherwise, I'll tell you more in a couple of weeks with the new moon. So let's talk about Sagittarius energy, because that's the energy that the moon is in, right? It's a fire sign, and we're already amplified from the fiery sun. So you're going to expect a lot of fire right now, okay? And that's another reason why it's really good to ground your energy. And the more you ground, the more you can kind of, put out the fires, right? So, a lot of times we think about water being used to put out fire, but a lot of times it's more like a powder or a clay or the earth, a dumping of like earth, dirt, So, we can do the same. We can tune into the grounding to help bring our fire down. And then I'm going to talk more a little bit about Sagittarius in a moment, but, thinking about that amplified energy, right? It's the energy of prana, life force energy. And it resides at the top of our breath with inhales. So anytime you inhale, if your inhales were longer than exhales over time, you would hyperventilate. You'd maybe pass out. You would get dizzy. Your energy would get amplified for sure. Your heart would race. Maybe your blood pressure would go up. So all of those things are related to prana, okay? It's also the upper chakras or the upper part of your body. You're pulled more to the moon during a full moon. The moon is stronger with its gravity than Earth can be, I guess. It's like a little tug of war, and it's not huge. It's subtle. But we're pulled slightly more to the moon right now. If you've ever seen a depiction of the Earth, I shared this on my stories here on Instagram a few days ago. It showed a depiction of how the moon pulls the tides around the Earth, and you could see the ocean being pulled to the moon all around. So we're pulled into that gravity, and, we're affected by it subtly, but we're pulled into the upper parts of our body, which is our heart and, stress breathing into our chest breathing, our mind, and even beyond. So we might be overthinking things, have an overactive mind. We might be over emotional, and we're not as grounded, so we're not as balanced. You can ask anybody that works in the medical field that they will see more injuries or more ER visits during a full moon than any other time. And if you ask any parent or teacher or anybody that works with children or anybody that works with animals, they are more heightened during a full moon. My kiddo, bless him, he just had like this full out screaming, raging like fit today. And, he's working through his toddler years. He's working through his emotions and his frustrations. But I was like, buddy, man, we don't have to have all that fire right now. I mean, it's good to channel your rage, but we don't scream at people in their face. So, we channel it in all types of ways, the heightened prana. We might be irrational, we might be over emotional, we might be extra fiery and angry. Certainly we can feel that right now with this extra fire of Sagittarius. But yeah, just be prepared for amplified energy during any full moon. And then when you have the fiery moons, like a Sagittarius, an Aries, a Leo, you're going to feel it even more. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm actually going to grab a drink. I'm a little sinusy tonight, and I'm feeling like this constant thing in my ears. As you guys know, guys and gals and people, that I've been dealing with sinus stuff. And, bless all that has been protecting me since I've been back from Florida. I haven't had any major reactions, but I have had sinus issues. I did have a visit to the sinus and allergy specialist this week. We did, the skin prick tests. All negative. We did some blood work. I'm still waiting to hear back on that. And we're going to do some patch testing. Who knows? I still think it's seasonal. I think it's a very specific tree to the area, or maybe the chemicals in the fields in the area. I have no idea, but bear with me if I slow down every once in a while. Take a deep breath, because I'm hearing a feedback in my ear, which is a lot of fun. I don't even have on headphones or anything, right? All right, so let's bring in the 5 elements for our circle, just bringing in extra energy, and this is also to help you attune. So if you're feeling you need a little bit of extra support from the earth, if you need some extra grounding support, all of these elements minus ones-ish come from the earth. So you can use all of these elements if you have them. You could go purchase them and use them in your practices. You could put them on your altar right now, or you can simply absorb the energy in this transmission that I'm bringing. So I'm going to start with the element of earth. I always like to suggest some crystals to work with. I mentioned that this is the strawberry moon or the peach moon. I'm getting ahead of myself. The strawberry moon or the rose moon. So it's the strawberry moon because in some places in North America and in some cultures, indigenous cultures especially, we call this the strawberry moon because it was a time when strawberries started to be ripe for the picking. So it was a time when we started to see those first fruits of summer. So this is a great time to, embrace the colors of strawberries like pink and red. And, if you had like a strawberry quartz or a pink or reddish quartz, even your rose quartzes would be really great to work with right now. So I have this little rose quartz stone that's almost translucent. It's almost clear, but it is rose quartz, a very light pink. And then, the rose moon, again, because this is a time when the roses start blooming or the peonies start blooming, the flowers start blooming. The last moon was called the flower moon. Now we've moved into the rose moons because we're starting to move into the rose season. So anything that has to do with roses, rose quartz, if you had, this is a rose selenite, one of my favorites. And then I have just like a rose rock here. And then, if you wanted to work with thinking about those fruits of summer coming, we have peach moonstone. And so I was getting ahead of myself, but I have this beautiful peach moonstone sphere. And peach moonstone really helps you to work with manifestation, creative energy, kind of working towards your dreams, more support in that. And funny, I was like, what crystals do we use right now? It was already on my altar. And so were these rose quartzes and rose rocks and everything. So gotta love that. So we're just going to absorb all that energy now, all that juju to all the cameras. Take that in. And if you're just listening to the audio, you're still getting it. Don't worry. And then I also wanted to bring in Snowflake Obsidian just to align with Sagittarius energy. So I'm going to bring one to each camera here. There we go. So you can see that it's kind of this black and white, black and gray. So it's not quite like black and white. Sometimes it can be, but it's more black and gray. Obsidian is always about absorbing the negative energy. So I don't think about this so much as like the beautiful falling snowflakes. This is like the muck, right? Like the traffic, the cars have driven on it, like the people have like come up and plowed it and smushed it all, and it's all gross, right? It's like the gross snow. That's kind of what we're thinking about with Snowflake Obsidian. We are absorbing negative energy there. And one reason we might want to work with that right now, not only because it's a stone that aligns with the zodiac season of Sagittarius, but also because right now you might feel more in those negative fiery vibrations. So you might feel anger right now. You might feel jealousy. You might feel impatience. You might feel frustration. You might feel just pure rage. You might feel mad. And that's okay to feel all of those things, right? But we want to be careful at how we channel that energy. We don't want it to result in people getting hurt or things getting broken or us having regrets, right? So when we work with things like obsidian, dark stones, snowflake obsidian, we're helping to absorb the muck, absorb the bad behaviors, absorb like the ick that's going to put us in victim mode later. And we just learn to channel the energy in a more spiritual, sacred way. So if you're feeling extra angsty, if you're feeling extra fiery, angry, whatever you need, take in this snowflake obsidian. My webcam got a little bit better there on the... I never understand webcams because it's like this is supposed to be the best of the best webcam. I bought it 6 to 8 months ago. And it's still got that you know what I mean? But here I am on my iPhone on Instagram and it's perfect. So you got to love that technology. And, I'm a one-woman show at this time. And so, we work with what we have, right? I'm going to clear my throat. So those are all earth elements, stones, crystals, gemstones that you can work with if you want to amplify the power of this moon. You can also bring the earth energy in of smudging materials. Now I laugh because I've been doing my moon circles all over. I've been doing them in my bedroom. I've been doing them in my office. I've been doing them at my studio. So, my smudging materials are all over. My smudging sticks are everywhere. But I did have the pine sage here, and again we're just going to make the most of it. We're going to make use of what we have. So I'm going to combine this pine with the element of fire. So we're bringing in our second element here, and you're going to start to see in just a moment, you'll start to see our third element, which is smoke or wind or air. Remember that we're in the sun season of Gemini and the moon of fiery Sagittarius. So really combining those energies when you smudge right now. I do suggest burning smudge if you can, but if you cannot, it's okay. You can make a smudging spray and you can do that instead. Or you could use vibrational sound, you could use your voice. There are other ways to clear. And you can tell that this space is pretty good, but it's funny because we always look at the direction of the smoke right now, and it's going to the webcam and just the corner where the webcam's attached, and the window is on the opposite side of that. So it should be like pulling to the window, especially because my air is on right now, but it's not. And that's because I have not used that webcam. And even I started talking and my webcam got a little clearer there, but you know, I haven't used this technology in a while. This is the first time smudging this space that we're using on my online community, so I have no doubt that I need to go to those spaces. So I am going to go around all the tech that we're using right now, including you, wherever you're tuning in, and I'm going to go around myself as well. Counterclockwise direction to release energy. And really, this is already almost burned out. And you saw me light it up for a long time. So we're clean. We're smudged. And by who's in attendance live right now, I'm not doubting that because you sisters keep up with cleansing your energy. Okay. Fourth element, water. I always mention drinking a lot of water, especially around a full moon, because full moons are a time of release. We want to work on flushing things out. We want to detox. We want to dilute. Also, this is a time when parasites can be more active. Yeast can be more active. We want to make sure that we're diluting all of that, flushing all of that out. So in the spirit of things being sweet, you know, the strawberry moon, I have a little pineapple mango probiotic drink here. You know, it's a really good time to support your gut health because these critters within us, and most of us have something there, right? They want to come up, or the yeast or the bacteria, whatever wants to rise up at this time. For some reason, under a full moon, it all comes out, right? So maybe even drinking like a probiotic drink. And I brought this one in because if you have an Aldi anywhere, if you're an Aldi fan, shout out. If you're an Aldi fan, they have a strawberry mint version of this probiotic drink that's really, really good. And if you want to celebrate the strawberry moon, you probably want to go get some of that if you want to enjoy that. You could have a strawberry lemonade, make your own strawberry seltzer, you know, bring in strawberry infused drinks of some sort, strawberry smoothies. I digress. Drink your strawberries right now, or just get into the fruits of the season. Start eating more fruit because, again, it helps you to detox, and it also prepares you to kind of like get ready for summer and also cool that heat naturally, right? We have this fiery full moon, maybe munch on the cold, cool fruit to help cool your system naturally. So I'm going to grab a drink of my drink. You can grab a drink of your drink. Cheers to this Sagittarius full moon. Delish. And let's talk more about using water in our lunar portal right now. So essential oils, I'm a huge fan of using them. I'm a huge fan of using pure ones. I typically use doTERRA essential oils. You can use whatever you feel called to do. I do use a few other brands as well, but that's the primary. I highly suggest working with vanilla right now. Beautiful Madagascar vanilla. Y'all know I love it. It smells amazing. One of the reasons that I would suggest using it right now is because let's go 6 months down the road to Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season happens right around Christmas time. Just ends like December 22nd, so it ends right before Christmas time, but it's a time when we're in the holiday season, and when we're in the holiday season, we're baking the cookies, we're baking the treats, everybody's hanging out in their home, they're having a good mood, they're having a good time, and you usually have this smell of vanilla coming in everywhere, so just smell it to think about, 6 months from now and where you want to be. Bring in vanilla to heighten your mood, to make you happy. It is an oil that does uplift your frequency. So again, if you're feeling some of those lower angry feelings, lower fiery feelings, you can use your vanilla. Make sure it's pure vanilla to uplift everything. I also have Spanish sage. So as promised, I mentioned in our last circle that I was going to order some of this because, sometimes we can't smudge with like our typical sage, right? We can't light things on fire depending where we are. So you can make a smudging spray. I mentioned this already with Spanish sage, or, you could actually take dried sage and make a tincture out of that and then make a smudging spray with that. So it doesn't have to be an essential oil. I like to use essential oils because it infuses all of the other elements. So we're taking the elements of the earth, whether it be the tree, the roots, the bark, whatever we're using to collect the oil. We're taking that plant, which is earth energy, and then we're combining it with heat. So these are collected with steam distillation. Then you're getting that water in, creating the oil, creating the hydrosol as a byproduct. We get into the water element. And then we get into the air element because we utilize aromatherapy. We smell these, we breathe them in, and so we're bringing in all elements whenever we utilize aromatherapy. We're also getting into the fifth element of the ether or energy or spirit because these work with our frequencies as well. This is the first time I've cracked this bottle open, by the way. It smells so good. So if you're wondering about the doTERRA Spanish sage, yeah, get you some. I'm going to make a spray with that down the road, but we don't need to do anything with that. If you have any, I would suggest just throwing maybe a drop in your diffuser or smelling it straight from the bottle. It smells really nice. And, when we make smudging sprays out of water, we're still diffusing negative energy away. We're still cleansing our space. We're still providing sacred energy. We're just doing it in a different way. Final element, I kind of already hinted at it. Our fifth element is the ether. It is the space beyond the earthly realm and the earthly realm together. It's our guides, our guardians. It's the, other cosmic races and beings. It's our protectors. It's our archangels and angels. It's all of this other stuff. It's all that ever was, all that ever will be. It's the digital space as well, because the digital space is a record of all that ever was and all that ever will be. And we're moving into the age of AI, and you know that it's true, right? So as we tune into the ether, the energy is amplified. It's one of the reasons I like to use this space for moon circles, for online community, for all of the things that I do, because the more that we have people tune into this space, the more the energy is amplified, even if we're not live. So if you're listening to this audio replay on the podcast, if you're watching the replay on YouTube or on my website, if you're live right now on my website, online community, or on Instagram, it doesn't matter. We're amplifying the energy. And I promise you, if you're watching this right now and you go back and you listen to it later or you watch it later, you're going to feel a different vibe. You're going to feel a different energy. And so that's why I love utilizing this space, instead of doing live circles so much. Now, that's not to say that I don't do live circles, okay? Because sorry, I got a little pop up there. That's not to say. It's like I almost like my spirit like hesitates it, right? I have been, possibly given the opportunity to start leading more moon circles live in my, spaces that I like to go, beachside. Nothing's finalized, nothing's official yet, but I'm hoping that turns into some things down there, especially with the moon and the new moon. So, I might be getting into some other circles, but I will still be live streaming, or I'll still be doing these circles because I like to have this free, interpretation of the cosmos in the ether, in the digital spaces, so you can grab it anytime you want, or you can reference it anytime you want as well. Okay, with that, we have all 5 elements. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to invite you to join me in this prayer to invite in the guides and guardians of the 5 directions, matching these elements and just amplifying the energy of our circle more. Whenever you're ready, deep breath in. Deep breath out, release. I want to start by inviting in the guides and guardians of the East with their element of air, heightened right now with this Gemini solar season, heightened right now with this amplified prana of the full moon. The energy of the inhale is stronger. We might be in the upper chakras, in more of those airy, spacey spaces. But we trust in this place because with every breath we have new beginnings. With the East we have the dawn of a new day. And so we invite in the air and the guides and guardians of air into our circle tonight. We thank them for being here. They confirm it with the vroom vrooms. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the South with their element of fire. Also confirmed with the vroom vrooms in the transmission. We're in a Sagittarius moon ruled by fire. We're feeling the amplified fire of the sun, the increasing solar light as we move into summer, the increasing solar energy right now. We invite it in along with these guides and guardians, and we thank them for being in our circle tonight. Fire burns away what no longer serves. Fire helps to move us in the right direction. Fire helps to cleanse and purify us with the tapas. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the West with their element of water, because although we have an airy sun and a fiery moon, we are still affected with our internal waters, our second energy center, our internal moon. And so anytime we're working with the moon, attuning to the moon, we are attuning into our liquid spaces inside, our emotional spaces, our drives and urges, our lymphatic system, our circulatory system, all the waters, creative flow. And so we invite in the waters, the West, and the guides and guardians of them into our circle tonight. We thank them for being here. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the North, element of Earth, because this is a moon only relative to our earthly planet. We honor this earthly temple that we're on, where we're given these lessons to learn to help uplift our frequency and amplify our energy. We invite in our ancestors of the earth. We invite in the 7 generations behind us that are now guiding us with lessons learned. We invite in the energy of the 7 generations ahead of us that have not arrived yet, but are on the other side, guiding us now to prepare the earth for them, to make it better, to make it more expansive and open and free. We invite in all of the energy of our earth elements, like our crystals, our essential oils, and more. We thank the guides and guardians of the North with their elements of earth for being in our circle tonight. And finally, we invite in the guides and guardians of the 5th element, the spirit realm, the Akash, all that ever was and all that ever will be, guides and guardians, angels and archangels, cosmic beings, and anything else from source consciousness and source itself that needs to be here in our circle tonight, giving us the messages that we need to receive. We thank the guides and guardians of the fifth element, the spirit realm, for being in our circle tonight. With that, our circle is even more sacred and open. Thank you for joining me in that prayer. I'm going to take a drink here. Don't be afraid to hydrate more right now during this moon, by the way, because with all of this fire and all of this air, you are bound to dry out. So, hydrate. Maybe practice a little, oil massage when you're getting in the bath or shower, or just, drops of oil in your, and I'm not talking essential oil, I'm talking just like olive oil or jojoba or, sweet almond, something like that to nourish your skin. From the inside out, from the outside in, we want to nourish right now. Maybe have some nice things to nourish your throat, like honey. We don't want to necessarily drink warm broths right now, maybe, but dressings on salads can work. Juicy fruits, all those things can really help to nourish if you're feeling an extra sense of dehydration right now underneath this full moon or Gemini season in general. So let's talk a little bit more about Sagittarius energy, because it's one of my faves and it rules a lot of my birth chart. Sagittarius energy is very positive. I like to call it the cheerleader of the zodiac. Shout out to all of my Sagittarius suns, moons, risings, stellium ruled charts. Wherever you're at with Sagittarius, if it's ruling you, shout out. If you're here, put it in the comments. But Sagittarius is a very amplified energy because it's ruled by Jupiter, the biggest planet in our galaxy. And I don't know if you know this, but when Jupiter is passing by us, when we can actually see Jupiter, it's very large in the sky. And it's a lot larger than Earth, okay? And so it's a larger than life energy, right? Sagittarius energy loves to be positive, support people, go get them. They're sometimes known as the cosmic archer or huntress or hunter because they represent this energy of taking aim and following through with success, with very precise success, because they're a fire sign, right? So fire doesn't always have to be angry or impatient. It doesn't always have to burn. It doesn't always have to be chaotic and all over. It can really burn with controlled direction. It can burn with passion and excitement. And that's the kind of energy that we're in right now underneath this summery strawberry moon. Now, we're not officially into summer yet, but we're starting to feel that now, like I said, because this is a time when we start to harvest the first fruits of the season. So we're getting those strawberries and maybe like some watermelons. Like when I was down south recently, there were more watermelons. We're starting to get more into those fruits of the summer season, and it's exciting, and we can feel all this solar light returning. We're getting close to summer solstice. So Sagittarius season is kind of like our hype person, right? Like it's the one like amping us up, getting us ready for this exciting summer to come, getting us ready for all the fruits that we're going to harvest, getting us ready to really go after our goals. And it's okay, by the way, if we haven't. It's okay if we fell off track from what we were working on. It's okay if we've shifted direction. It's okay if we've just been stagnant and we haven't done anything and we've just been a big old potato. It's okay, because now we do a little check-in, and we have super positive Sagittarius coming in to say, hey, you still got plenty of time. We're not even to summer yet officially. We still have half the year. Go after those goals. Get up and go after your dreams. You can make it happen 100%. do it, right? And it's almost like you want to embrace the full fire and maybe get a little pissed off that you aren't where you are yet. If you have a dream, if you had a vision, if you set a goal and you're not where you want to be yet, you can get a little pissed off about it, right? But let that be your motivation, right? Let the fire be a new catalyst to fuel you to start directing that burn of desire to create a new life, to reach your goals, to reach your dreams, to start, making that vision in your mind come true, to start really feeling it on the outside as much as the inside, as much as you feel it in your mind and in your dreams. All of that is starting to, ignite right now. Now, on the flip side of that, if you are finding success right now, if you have already had a lot of success, if you are going after the goals one after another, if you were the hunter or the huntress, you have collected your game, you have stocked up your freezers and your storage, you're ready for winter already. You are super excited. You have made things happen. Sagittarius, it comes in right now and it says, can you do more? Because you can. Because I know that maybe you reached your goals already, but it's time to set new ones. It's time to get super excited about everything, right? So, congratulations if you've met your goals. Congratulations if you're where you want to be right now. And now get excited for that next level, for that next chapter, because it's coming in. Now, we have to talk about the rage. I've been mentioning that a little bit, right? Sagittarius is a very positive sign, right? Now, with that comes the downfall of Sagittarius not wanting to display all of their fire. They are a fire sign. They're passionate. They're excited. They're amplified. They're fired up. Woohoo, let's go. Cheerleader. But fire also has other directions that it burns, right? And I mentioned some of those already. So Sagittarius people, and if you know a Sagittarius or if you are a Sagittarius, you may agree, maybe not, but maybe you do, that, you probably struggle with showing anger, showing, negativity, showing frustration, showing positivity, showing impatience, just being mean. You are probably not good at that. You're probably not good at, being harsh. However, if you're triggered in the right way, you can, but it's rare. You really like to be nice and be positive and support the community, support the external. So this full moon in Sagittarius is actually encouraging you to embrace all of your fire, okay? The moon is related to our emotions. The moon is related to how we process and move those emotions through and ground them through and let them out, okay? So the moon is in its fullest expression, and your energy and your emotion should be in its fullest expression right now too. The fullest spectrum, from anger, frustration, rage, whatever. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more, all the way up to the woohoo, excited, I am high on life and super great. My son, I laugh because he's in this real phase right now, as much as he's like screaming or whatever, he's a Aries and it's a full moon in fiery signs, and I just get it. But anytime you ask him how he's doing, he goes, I'm good. I'm not only good, I'm fantastic. And he throws his hands up, and it's just the cutest thing ever. But I'm like, man, he totally did that today over the phone to his grandpa. And I'm like, that is full moon in Sagittarius. Screams at his mother in the face. I'm fantastic, super happy, high on life to his grandpa over the phone. So yeah, you're going to feel all the emotions right now, and all of it's going to be okay. Now, talking about making the most of things, right? Sagittarius related to this hunter or huntress energy. It's all about surviving. It's all about sustainability. It's all about preparing for what's ahead and making the most of things when things don't quite work out right, okay? Sagittarius people can be very, positive in that way of oh, well, we'll make the most of it. And, so it's I didn't have the the white sage that I wanted to burn tonight for new beginnings, but oh well. I still had my pine sage, which is great medicine. It's a grounding tree, so it's going to ground us in with that smoke, right? I'm also just, this is my first time using my tech. We're going to be a little like weird about it all because I'm trying to figure it all out, but oh well, this is going to advance my ability to reach more people, build more community, and help get you off of social media if that's what you're trying to do and still stay, connected to me, right? And I laugh because yesterday I spent the past few days working on a birth chart for somebody, for a friend. And in the past couple of days, right, as we move into this full moon rising in Sagittarius, I get a message yesterday after I'd sent off this birth chart a couple of days ago. I get a message yesterday, oh no, I told you the wrong birth year. If I'm going to pay you, no big deal, we'll work it out, but I'm so sorry. So I pull up the birth chart with the new birth year, and of course, it is a different chart. I mean, yeah, they're still going to be the same sun sign, but about 80-85% of the rest of the chart is completely different. I could have gotten mad about that. I could have gotten frustrated. I could have been like, this is a waste of my time. Oh my gosh, but I'm making the most of it. And I am seeking the person that was born on that day, and hopefully near that time, or hopefully the chart aligns, and I'll make sure it does. So if you know anybody, in the theme of that, if you know anybody that was born, or if you were born on May 26th, 1990, reach out to me. Message me somewhere, get a hold of me because I have your birth chart. I made it. It's gonna get in somebody's hands that needs it. So just putting it out there. But that is that positive Sagittarius energy. It's like, we're going to make the most of this. We're going to work it out. It's no big deal. And that's kind of how we have to be, overall with, how we've been on track with things. So instead of holding judgment, if we've fallen off track, if things haven't worked out, if we haven't met our goals, we go, oh, well, we're going to make the most of that. We're going to, kind of reflect and learn our lessons, or gather the wisdom out of that, or see, what we're going to improve from here. And then we're going to fail forward. We're just going to fail forward, and we're going to try again, new beginnings. It's not even summer. We still have half of the year and a little bit more. And let's go after it. Let's go after it again, or do things a little bit different. See what happens, right? So that is the energy we're in with this moon. And by the way, why do we want to tune into these individual, zodiac signs with the moon? Well, because the moon is different every 2.5 days. So a moon has a lunar cycle every 29.5-ish days. It starts lined up with the sun, works its way around opposing the sun at around day 14, 15, and then continues, or I guess I'd say 13, 15, and then continues back around. Now, every 2.5 days, it's also changing zodiac signs because it's moving so quickly, right? So you've got the sun setting this certain zodiac sign or zodiac influence, and then you've got the moon starting with that and then just slowly ticking away from it every 3 days, every 2.5 days. So we kind of need to know both energies, right? Like, it's good to know about the sun season of Gemini, even if you're not a Gemini, because solar energy always rules us. It's ruling our day-to-day. It's ruling how we externally kind of move through life. So we want to tune into that. It's also the external world. So it's how the world is acting right now. It's more like, the world revolves around the sun. So how the sun is acting, everybody else is going to act. Helps you understand yourself because the sun is represented to our core self. So all of those things are related to sun energy. We want to know what sign the sun is in, but it sticks in that same sign for almost 30 days. So let's tune into the moon, which tunes into our emotions and how we process them and what sign that's in, especially when it's most amplified at its fullest expression, and see how that's affecting us and the collective and what we're witnessing, what we're experiencing, what we're going through, all that jazz. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. Feel free to put into the comments anything you want, by the way. Let us know how the full moon is treating you, or this Gemini season, or just Sagittarius energy if you can relate in any way. I want to move on to the Vedic side of things. So in Vedic astrology, by the way, I'm no expert. I just always like to tune into the moon from the perspective of both sides of the world. I went to India back in 2017, learned about Vedic astrology then, and I've been tuning into it ever since. I find it really interesting. It aligns a lot with the eastern side of the world. So in Vedic astrology, this moon is in Jyeshta Nakshatra. And Jyeshta Nakshatra is known as the elder star, or the queen star, or the eldest queen star. And it's a very sovereign energy. It's a very powerful energy. It makes me definitely think of like Queen Elizabeth, because she just passed away and she has ruled for a very long time. You could think about Margaret Thatcher. I don't know why I'm going British. No reason. But think about did Cleopatra rule for a long time? I don't think she did. But I'm thinking about some of these women that ruled throughout time for a long time, right? And it is this queen energy. So that's why I'm going with the Queen Elizabeth. It reminds us to hold on to our power and to sit on the seat of our throne, and to do things our way and the way that we want to, and to live out of that royal feeling of being in our joy. Now, I'm sure it wasn't always, kicks and giggles to be queen, right? Or rule a country. However, feels pretty good to be in that kind of power, right? And be that taken care of and be that secure. And that's kind of how we want to feel right now with this moon, right? I mentioned that, on the west, it's ruled by Jupiter energy. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, biggest planet in the galaxy, planet of abundance and fortune. And on the eastern side of the world, we're ruled by this eldest queen star who's very royal and very financially secure. And she's probably made a lot of her dreams come true because she has that power and she has that networking, she has those connections, and she has that protection. And she carries herself in a certain way that people just hold that respect and let her be in power and rule her life and do her damn thing. We got to do our damn things right now. That's our message. Okay? In the Eastern perspective, Jyeshta Nakshatra, it's located in the heart of the Scorpion. So the Scorpio constellation, it's in the heart of that. And you got to think about the Scorpion, right? Scorpions are very protective. They're very hard-shelled. They're very mushy on the inside, lots of emotion, lots of feelings, feel very deeply. If you know a Scorpio, if you are a Scorpio, shout out. My kid's a Scorpio rising, by the way. And he's a Cancer moon. He's feeling it right now. The heart of the Scorpion, right? The heart of the Scorpion is mush. But the protection around that Scorpion's heart is very hard. And if the Scorpion feels threatened, like it is in danger, it will sting. It will lash out. Okay? You might feel that way right now. Maybe you actually feel like, something is triggering you and you're not feeling safe and you lash out. Maybe you're just feeling some of those fiery, lower frequency feelings and you get triggered in a way and you lash out. Or you don't channel that properly with some sort of like sacred rage practice, right? I'll talk about that in just a moment. Maybe you feel like your dreams and your goals are threatened. Maybe you feel like what you're working on right now and all of the success that you've already gained and everything that you've already like stacked up and stored and grown is being threatened. And you're starting to lash out and sting or behave in a certain way, okay? First off, if you're feeling like you need to let things out in order to open up space for more, please do that. Fire is important. It is a purification element. In yoga, we call fires the tapas energy. And tapas is this energetic, purifying fire. It helps move out the rage. Like attracts like, hermetic principles, right? Like attracts like. So if we're feeling fiery, if we're feeling ragey, impatient, frustrated, jealous, mean, mad, whatever. Let's heat that up with the tapas, okay? So that's part of it, and we have to let things out and sort of let things in, right? So if we need to let things out to release, to burn away, we need to do that. If we need to disconnect, we need to do that. But also, we need to use this fire that's burning through right now to, again, get excited about moving forward, okay? So if we're feeling like our dreams are threatened, if we're feeling like our successes are threatened, we need to make sure that we're doing things to secure ourselves. So maybe we start doing things differently. Maybe we start working on our goals in a stronger way. Maybe we get bolder and really start setting boundaries like the scorpion. And maybe just getting really stern, threatening with the stinger, but getting a little bit stern about, implementing those boundaries and letting them stay there. This is about your power. Remember this eldest queen star. She probably takes no bull, right? Remember that Taurus energy is actually ruling this lunar cycle because we began with a Taurus new moon. So we're still kind of in that take no bull energy, but also Pluto is retrograde, okay? So when Pluto is retrograde, Pluto is the planet of power and control and the underworld. We can kind of have things rise up and take away our power, or rise up and challenge us and make us feel like we're spiraling down out of control. So now the full moon comes in Jyesta Nakshatra to give us a second chance to kind of take back the reins, take back our power, both hands on the wheel again, turn off the cruise control, turn off the autopilot and say, I'm going to steer myself in a different direction because I'm feeling intuitively called, or in a faster direction. So we have to give ourselves permission maybe to do that, okay? And sometimes we have to give ourselves permission to take back the power and get a little stern about it, or hold the power and be a little stern about it by taking no bull and just setting those boundaries. So get a little assertive with this full moon, but try to be gentle with it, thinking about that positivity of Sagittarius energy, but also how we need a little bit of fire. So we need to purify, we need to make space, we need to clear, but we also need to light ourselves up wherever we need to go, right? And it's interesting how that relates to the West. It's just, I love how they always come together. So let's talk about the sacred rage, the spiritual rage, the making the most of things, right? Like, I'm feeling ragey, I'm going to make the most of it, okay? I'm not going to hurt somebody. I'm going to uplift my frequency. I'm going to process this in a positive way. What I call spiritual rage or sacred rage practices are ways for you to be mad and be mean and be ragey without hurting anybody or breaking anything, doing any damage. We're firing up the truck outside. It's not mine, it's the neighbor's. I had the window open because we smudged, and I just like the fresh air. So when we practice sacred rage, maybe we scream into a pillow. Maybe we go out into our car, into the garage, and we scream into the car where nobody can hear us. Or into a field where nobody can hear us, right? Maybe we go take rocks and we just throw them into the water as hard as we can. Or onto the ground as hard as we can. Or go find a bash room where you can break things in a very healthy and safe way. And you're not doing any damage, you're actually helping by breaking things down. Right? You can put on ragey music, some metal music, some hardcore music. You can, bounce and headbang and rage dance. Sometimes just shaking it out in a very aggressive way. You can work out. So going for a workout, lifting weights, doing aggressive, more amplified HIIT workouts, fitness, going for a run. You can get really heated. Remember, like attracts like. Get in a sauna, sweat things out, take a hot bath, take a hot shower, whatever you want to do. You have a lot of options, okay? But you want to definitely bring in a way to process it all in a healthy way. And that's what, ruling your kingdom is about, or ruling your life is about, right? Ruling your emotions. The queen, I'm sure that Queen Elizabeth throughout her rule had plenty of times that she got really mad, but she didn't go all Henry VIII on everybody. She didn't start cutting off people's heads. She didn't start cutting off her family's head when she was disappointed in them. She just let things be. She held her grace, but she also kind of set some boundaries and set some rules and put some things into power with her power, put some things in motion with her power, and made some things happen or not happen, and ruled her kingdom in a different way. So, channel your rage, be healthy about it, be safe about it, and embrace your fire, and rule your life. Keep yourself in control. Let's mosey over back to the eastern side of the world. Let's talk about this fire energy of Sagittarius. Let's also talk about making the most of fire through fire ceremony. If you have the ability to build a fire outside safely, or maybe you could just light a candle inside. You can write down all the things that you need to release right now. All the people, all the relationships, all the pursuits, all the directions of your energy, all the habits that are no longer serving, all the directions of your energetic fire. Where are they burning, and where do you need to put out the flames? What do you need to let go of right now? Or who? Okay? Write it down on a piece of paper and then burn that paper safely. If you're burning inside with a candle, maybe do it over water or over a bath or toilet or something like that. I like doing it over the toilet because then you can flush it away. There's that muck I'm talking about again. So, the muck that rises up right now, we want to flush it away, burn it away, transform it into something bigger and better, expand it, move it into an expansive energy. So you can also embrace the fire just by socially gathering. So maybe you have a fire and you gather around the fire, or maybe you're just under the fire and under the moon yourself. Maybe you just go out under the fiery moon. You don't have to build a fire or bring in fire. You can just go out under the moon because that is solar light at its fullest on the moon reflecting back into you with a fire sign influencing it and amplifying it even more. And remember that our last full moon, we couldn't get out under it. It was an eclipse. So if you're feeling a little drained right now, or you feel like you need to uplift your frequency, get under that heightened prana and raise it up. Get out under the moon, fire or not with it. You can also set out moon water right now if you need to purify in a different way. So I mentioned the fire to burn, right? The tapas to purify. And we can do that with internal heat in different ways. But also you could just create moon water influenced with that fiery Sagittarius energy. So set out a vessel of moon water tonight to soak up the lunar light. And by the way, if you can't set out a vessel of water, you're afraid somebody will take it or it'll get messed with, you can do it inside in front of a window. And you don't have to have that window open. It can be closed, by the way. If it's raining or it's cloudy, it's okay. Whether your vessel of water is inside in front of the window or outside, cloudy or rainy, doesn't matter. It'll charge it up. And you can drink that water. And it's going to bring a fiery vibe to the water that really purifies you and heats you up. And helps move it through, by the way, too. Remember that water is your emotional space, so when you connect to fiery water, you're helping move those fiery emotions through, again, in a different way. We also can, amplify any of our woo, our tools. If you have certain crystals that you're working with, essential oils, smudging materials, tarot cards, oracle cards, just anything that you work with magically, you can put that underneath this moon right now and amplify it as well. Okay, I think that's what I have for you as far as the moon stuff. If you have any questions or comments about that, go ahead and put it there now. I'm going to invite us into a little bit of heated breath work just to connect to those internal tapas. We're going to do a little bit of Ujjayi pranayama, and then we are going to connect to just pure positivity. Pure positivity. So make yourself comfortable. Maybe shift your seat. We're going to take a breath first, just a normal breath. But first, we're going to talk about the breath work that we're going to do. So anytime we practice pranayama or breath work, we are working with our prana, our life force energy, and we can feel off. We can feel different. We can feel dizzy, nauseous, sick, or anything that doesn't serve us feeling well and balanced and harmonized and peaceful. If we feel that, we stop the breath work immediately, continue to our most normal, natural breath, and recover. If you feel fine, continue. Those are the 2 rules of breath work. Let's take a deep breath in together. Deep breath out. You are going to keep your mouth closed and start breathing in and out through your nose, however that moves first. Maybe with a little bit more force, maybe not on the exhale, but you want to start to constrict your throat with mouth closed, as if you were fogging a mirror with your mouth closed. So as if you were making that H sound, fogging a mirror with the mouth closed. That's how the exhale goes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose with that force, that steam. By the way, I closed my eyes, but you don't have to close your eyes. In through the nose, out through the nose with force. Gentle whisper of the chest and throat. Continue a few more rounds. One or 2 more rounds, you may have sound, and that's normal. Deep breath in. Open mouth exhale. Let it all out, shake it out. Return to normal breathing if you haven't already. Maybe grab a drink if you need it, if you felt a little overheated or dry. We want to do a little Ujjayi pranayama because this is called warrior's breath or powerful breath or power breath. And it is used to find your power in the, alignment of Jyeshta Nakshatra. We are finding our power. We are getting back in control. We are controlling our breath to strengthen our power. And this definitely strengthens the core muscles, by the way. You really have to use those core and pelvic muscles to get the breath out and contract in that way, in that forceful way. You get into Jalandhara Bandha as well, kind of through the throat. You're also connecting down into the womb space where we have creation energy. So this is a way to both burn away and open up space to move creative energy and create the new. So we're letting go and we're creating the new at the same time. Now, I forgot to mention that in the eastern side of the world, in Vedic astrology, this Jyeshta Nakshatra is ruled by Jyeshta Devi. And this is an ancient fertility goddess that, a lot of times she's represented like squatting and bleeding and pregnant, or like at the same time. And it's fertility, right? Because the release of the womb, the release of the blood is a death. It is a letting go. I'm due to bleed any day now, by the way, in the theme of things. But it's a death. It's a letting go. And then we invite in the new womb, the new fertile space, right? And so with the letting go, there also is the new. And sometimes Jyeshta Devi is referred to as the Alakshmi, so the opposite of Lakshmi, the opposite of fortune and abundance. And isn't in our modern day world very much a time when we're like, oh my gosh, ew, my period, ew, my cycle, ew, we're getting better about it, but we're definitely that way. But we're starting to make the most of things, and we're starting to embrace that more, and, educate more, and be in our cycles and honor them and cherish them and celebrate them, and be positive about what's coming through in that bleeding time, because there's so much insight pouring in as we're bleeding out. It's like one just channel, right? So, thinking about every time we're letting go, we're inviting in the new. And so as we're using the tapas of this Ujjayi pranayama, this power breath, this warrior's breath, we are also creating space for the new, or opening up that portal at least. Now, we've burned away what no longer serves in our body. Frequency with that breath work. And maybe it wasn't enough and you need to practice it longer after this, and that's okay. If this breath work didn't serve you, it's cool. Connect to fire in a different way. Connect to the tapas in a different way. But now that we've, programmed ourselves to burn away what doesn't serve, we are in a positive, open space, full of potential, and we're going to infuse that with a little bit of meditation and mantra. We're going to meditate on positive mantra, or positive affirmation. We don't really call it mantra. We want to call it positive affirmation. So we're going to say the words I am, and then we're going to fill in the blank. And at first we're going to maybe say this out loud. If you're in a private space and you can say this out loud, say it out loud. But then we're going to move into the internal spaces of our mind. And every time we say it, we're going to imagine moving that energy through, moving that energy through, moving that energy through, all the way to the womb space, all the way down, positive frequency, all the way down to the root chakra, grounding us into that space of positivity and encouragement. We are going to be our own cheerleaders tonight in the, the spirit fingers, in the spirit of Sagittarius energy. We're going to be our own cheerleaders. We're going to say, I am, and we're going to fill in the blank. Okay? So let's get ready for this, and we're going to start out loud, and you can say things out loud, and you don't have to say the same things I say, right? Say whatever you want to say. Say what you mean to say. Say what you want. Say what you want to say. Here we go. Deep breath in and out. Say it out loud like you mean it. I am positive. I am light. I am healing frequency. I am intuitive. I am intuitively right. I am always expanding. I am always growing. I am always gaining wisdom and knowledge. I am always up leveling. I am always evolving. I am always attracting what I need. I am always supported. I am always secure. I am always meeting my goals and dreams and expectations. I am on track to where I need to be. I am following my path. I am believing in myself. I have faith that I can create whatever I want to create. Go silent. Say it in your mind. Say it in your hardest of hearts. Say it deep down in your root chakra. Whatever comes through in a positive fashion, don't let the negative come through. It's gone. I am, finish the statement with positive, cheerleading words. You can say, I am aggressive. I am aggressive towards my goals. I am attracting what I want. I am attracting all that I desire and more. I am attracting this or something better. Just a little longer. What else can you say about yourself that's positive? I am patient. I am loving. I am kind. I am empathetic. I am gentle parenting. I am sensitive. I am love. If you can't think of anything else, go there. The ultimate positive frequency, love. I am love. I am love. I am love. Chant that. Oh, I can already breathe deeper with it. We're going to go a little longer. Whatever you want to say to yourself, even if it's just, I am love. I am joy. I am light. Deep breath in and out. Isn't it interesting how you can blink your eyes open, by the way? I don't know if you can hear the crickets chirping in the background or not, but it's interesting how we can shift as a collective. It's interesting how we as individuals can affect the energy all around us. I've done this before, and I think it was almost a year ago. That's funny because we're going to get in the tarot in a minute, but it was almost a year ago that I was doing a moon circle, and I had the window open, and our neighbor's dog was just barking, 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 barking. There was another dog barking, 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 and I was like, let's all close our eyes and set the mood and set up peace and ask for peace here. And the dogs got quiet. I didn't do anything else. And remember at the beginning of our circle, there were some vroom vrooms, and there were some cars and some motorcycles and some noises and a truck outside, not even just a moment ago. Now it's just quiet, and there's crickets. And it's a Saturday night with a full moon, a fiery full moon. I wouldn't personally go out, but that's just me. So we can shift our collective energy. We just have to slow down, and we can make the most of things. We can turn anything into a positive situation simply with our mantra, even if we just say those affirmations inside. And even if we just say, I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Or we are love, we are love. Notice how that will shift you and your collective. Okay, so use that practice as you need. I've been really getting into more practical magic with our moon circles, just collective techniques that you can do, accessible tools that you can easily find or make. So hopefully that was useful to you. I want to move on to the tarot, and then we'll wrap up our circle. Again, of course, if you have any questions, anything, please put it in the circle. And our circles, by the way, if this is your first time or if you're fairly new to these are just to circle up. We circle up, we talk. It's mostly just me talking and telling you about what's going on. And if you know about the moon, then it might be a little repeat to learn like about the new moon and the full moon and how it affects gravity and our bodies and our mind and our energy, prana, apana, blah, blah, blah. But there's always something new to gain, right? Like even though I've been doing these moon circles for 5 years, there's always some new insight, wisdom, something to gain. And I'm so excited because now I can like use AI to chop up my videos, and they just get those little important nuggets out, and I can start putting those in my moon fam, moon community, or wherever else they need to be in my online communities, out of social media, my own space. These collective records of little insights and wisdom that you can tune into, little 1, 2, 5 minutes at a time. But new things always come through because we're always in a different sign, in a different season, in a different alignment of the planets. And there's different tools and techniques that we can work with and different energies as well. So, shout out to all of you that have been attuning for a very long time, but also shout out if you're new and you're just learning. All right, I'm going to take a deep breath in and out. We're going to move on to the tarot. I always like to just thank the cards for being here and the messages that they're bringing us. Trusting that these cards are full of deep messages and wisdom that we all need to individually hear, and also collectively, or we might use to guide us through the collective, I guess I want to say. But I just want to thank the cards for being here in our circle tonight. I have a past, a present, and a future card. I'm going to start with the World card, our past card. This is number 21. And being in our past, I think it's asking us to look back at 2021. And also look back at Sagittarius season of last year, or maybe when we were in the full moon of Sagittarius, so this time last year, springtime, late May, early June. But we're reflecting. We're reflecting on the world and how we interacted in it. We're reflecting on our personal world, what we created, what we didn't. And especially in 2021, right? Deep in the midst of COVID, where we had this like uncertainty, like things would be open and then they'd be closed and then they'd be open and then they'd be closed, and we'd have all these like travel is open, travel isn't, new rules all the time. The world card represents the ending and the beginning. So again, it's kind of that Jesta Devi, fertility goddess of long ago, representing endings and beginnings. And we even have this like naked androgynous being running through the world. And this card is about fertility a little bit. It's about the world giving birth to the Fool. It's about the last card of the tarot giving birth to the first card of the tarot. So with every ending, we have a beginning. And we have to remind ourselves of that sometimes. So even in the tarot, we're coming in to say, hey, even if we failed in our past, like we had some pursuit, the Fool in the tarot, by the way, is like the Fool has a dream and it takes off on its endeavors to go out into the world and make its dreams come true, right? And we've kind of worked on that too over the past 6 months, like New Year, Lunar New Year, we set goals, dreams, ambitions, we've planted seeds, we've been working on that, and we're trying to make our dreams come true. But maybe we fell off track, or maybe we shifted direction, or maybe we just stopped doing things. That's okay. We have a chance now to begin again. And we always have a chance to begin again with the moon, right? So when we work with the moon, we tend to have that constant cycle of checking in, starting over, or enhancing what we're already working on, or letting go. So the World card is inviting you to trust in what you've let go of and embrace what you're inviting in, because so much is still available to birth and bring forward in your life. By the way, 21 breaks down. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. 5 is the number of growth, abundance, fortune. So I always say a series of misfortunate, fortunate events, because they're seemingly misfortunate, but they're very fortunate. Always, always, when you look back, right, in reflection. For our present card, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Guess what month we're in? June. We just moved into it. Now we have the 6 here, and we're on June 3rd. However, 6 is the number of community and family and magic. And when we have the 6 of Pentacles, Pentacles is fortune, abundance, luck, okay? This is support from our community. This is us gaining support. Look how it's like this tower or this pyramid or this foundation, helping us rise to the top, helping us make our dreams come true. Within this full moon or this lunar portal, you might find a network of connections to help you grow or succeed or, just become more successful with what you do. Or, I don't know, I can't think of the word right now. It'll come to me. But you might also be supporting other people to do that. Because remember, Sagittarius is the cosmic cheerleader, loves to support. So you might have this energy of wanting to give to others, your time, your energy, your education, your wisdom, your insight, money, connections, whatever you need, whatever you have, right? You're going to offer that, or maybe people are going to offer that to you. It's going to be reciprocal because it's all about community, which is all about like going both ways with it. It's funny, this weekend, yesterday, I just went to a Pride event in a smaller town south of here, and the place that it was at, the bar that it was at, female owned, she came to our women's empowerment event a month ago. And so it's funny that now, like almost a month later, almost to the date, it was the 6th. It's funny that I'm pulling the 6 of Pentacles, but it was the 6th of May, and now it was the 2nd of June. I did her Pride event because she, did our event. And so it's kind of this like I scratch your back, you scratch mine, but also I support you, you support me. And then eventually that carries over into the collective, and that's just how we are, which is how we should be, right? So trust in your journey and continue on it, and trust in the people that come your way, because you're making connections that you need to get to where you need to go. And I'm certainly feeling that in my own life. Finally, for our future card, we have the Knight of Cups, and it's weird. Like, I never pulled that until this year. All of a sudden now I'm just pulling it all the time. The Knight of Cups is about, learning to trust in certain relationships and, people and places and alignments that come your way. It's also about seeing the abundance around you already. Cups are about feeling full, emotionally stable and harmonized, but also feeling abundant no matter what you have, even if it's not your dreams yet, right? So the Knight of Cups rides in and says, hey, use your intuition, because you're going to be connected to a lot of people, and some of those people are going to be beneficial to your growth and beneficial to your success, and other people might be more like somebody that's not necessarily holding you back, but somebody that's keeping you a little stagnant or on a path that you don't need to be. So, you're kind of learning when you're in the night energy, but you're also kind of tending to all that. You're de-weeding your garden right now so that you have more room to grow. This is what I have for you tonight, Moon Sisters, Moon Brothers. I'm just talking a little bit quicker because I saw my computer is like running out of juice, so I don't want to run out of juice there on this recording, or try not to. And we're coming up on our hour and a half as promised, so I don't want to keep you very much longer. If you have anything you want to say, please say it. If you want to read more about these tarot cards, I have it written on my website, vinalene.com. I have a whole section for tarot. You can read about it there. And I have a section on the moon. So if you want to go read about the moon, more about the full moon in Sagittarius, what I write is different than what I say. So, you want to make sure that you are maybe tuning into both if you're looking for like the full message, if you're seeking more. And then I invite you to join my new Moon Fam online community. If you're kind of over the Facebook group thing, if you're over social media in general, or you just want to stay connected to me on a deeper level when it comes to the moon, I have my free online community on my website. I'm the admin. I'm the moderator. I own it, so you don't have to worry about anything. And I don't have to worry about the algorithms. I don't have to fight the algorithms so that you see my posts. You subscribe to me, you get my posts all about the moon, and you're going to get these live moon circles if you're looking to go a different route. You'll also get the recordings in there, and of course they're on my website, they're on YouTube. Podcast recording on the Follow Your Path podcast. If you look up Vina Lene, you might find it a little bit easier, but I'm on Google, Apple, and Spotify. So find me where you want. But I'm able to have this online moon community, and with that, I'll start sending out more. If you don't get my newsletter, I send out a Moon Musings newsletter every full moon and new moon, and I write about the moon, and I give you tips on how to work with it, and just all kinds of stuff there, goodies, VIP stuff. So when you join the free community, you will also get a subscription. You'll get signed up for that Moon Musings newsletter. So how do you do that? Well, it's kind of a secret. I'll have to get it all set up for sure. But if you found me on Facebook today, you saw a link where I shared to watch this through my community, and you can click on there. And then if you go to my website, if you go to vinalene.com and you click on live events, you're going to see the description for this moon circle that we're doing right now for the full moon in Sagittarius. I'm going to leave this up for 24 hours. You're going to see a link at the very bottom that says click this, something like link to join to get into my online Moon Fam community. You click on that, you're going to find my community. You can join it for free. You're going to get my newsletter. You're going to get subscribed, and you get all the moon things. If you're a selenophile, and if you're a selenophile, you know what selenophile means. Shout out to my selenophile sisters and brothers and people and fam, because we're loving the lunar vibes right now. All right, loves, I am going to take a deep breath. As usual, I am going to release the guides and guardians of our 5 directions, and then we are going to close our circle. Feel free to join me in this prayer or simply tune and listen in. We're going to start with releasing the guides and guardians of the ether, the 5th element, the spirit realm, all that was with us from source to guide us with our circle tonight. We thank you for being here. We ask for your continued guidance if we need it as we move out of the circle and into our own individual journeys. We thank you again for being in our personal circle here tonight. We also release the guides and guardians of the north with our element of earth, earthly, crystals, gemstones, materials of the earth, and also the ancestors and the generations, the guidance. We ask that any continue to be with us if it needs to be. And we release what was in our circle tonight, thanking you now. We also release the guides and guardians of the west with their element of water, helping us to connect to our emotions and internal moon space, our 2nd chakra, Svadhisthana. We also know that the moon and the water is related to time. Time marching on, past flowing into present, flowing into future. And so we let go of our past and, maybe the failures that were connected there. We embrace the present and what we're creating right now with full passion and excitement of the moon. And we look forward to the future and what is coming to us and flowing to us already. We thank the guides and guardians of the west with their element of water for being in our circle tonight. We also release the guides and guardians of the south with their element of fire, burning so strong with this fiery Sagittarius moon, with this passion of power and control through Jyesta Nakshatra. We use the tapas of the fires to burn away what no longer serves. And we spark new fires of excitement, passion, and joy as we start to work on new goals and dreams. We ask that any guides continue to be with us as we move on tonight. And we thank the guides and guardians for being in our personal circle tonight. And finally, we release the guides and guardians of the east with the element of air, fresh breaths, new beginnings. The new and the old are connected. When we exhale, it leads to inhale. When we inhale, it leads to exhale. When we let go, it creates space. We trust that every night dawns a new day. And just like that, as we lean into the darkness of our failures, we also lean into the light of our future luck, joy, fortune, and abundance. We thank the guides and guardians of the east with their element of air for being in our circle tonight. And with that, our circle, I want to say our elements are released. Our circle is officially released. I want to thank you for being here tonight. My computer didn't make it. It's all good. It is what it is. It's while I trialed it. Although I think it was at 100%, but this webcam is going to take the energy. Vroom vroom is back. Isn't it funny? The energy shifts every time. So thank you if you're here on Instagram. Thank you wherever you are. Thank you for being on our circle tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your support. I'm holding space for you, your joy, your ambitions, your dreams, all that you're starting anew, all that you're amplifying that continues to stay on track and grow and blossom and flourish. Harvest your fruits under this moon. Look around you in gratitude. What have you already gained so far this year? Probably so much if you really tune into it. Underneath this strawberry moon, I want to send you so many blessings. We will meet again for the new moon in Gemini. We're going to grab that Gemini moon on June 18th, just right before we move into Cancer season. And I haven't decided when or what time yet, but I will announce that soon because I have a lot of things going on right now with tech and community and moon things. So join my moon tribe, my moon fam to find out more. And until we meet again, either earlier or underneath that new moon in Gemini, may we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all know peace and feel safe. May we all feel loved, be loved, and love one another in the spirit of pride again, too, right? Love, love, love. So it is, so it is, so it is. Blessed be.
I hope today's message served you. If you enjoy the Follow Your Path podcast, I would love for you to leave a review. As a thank you, every month I do a drawing from the reviews and I choose one person to win a free 1-hour, one-on-one soul coaching session with me. This can be done in person or online depending on where you are. I also feature reviews on my website and social media, so thank you for the feedback and the testimonials. It truly is an honor to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to meeting with you again in the next episode.